With 101, Mark Palmer on Capri, followed by 102, Wyatt Young on Gotta Love a CD, and 103 will be Sarah Cookson on Arizona.
So in the camp we have competitor number 101. This is Mark Palmer riding Capri, or Capri. Mark's from Corindai here in New South Wales. Winner of the Paradise Lagoons Campdraft. He's been a 3 times winner of the World Championship Campdraft at the Sydney Royal Easter Show. We'll have a camp score coming through very shortly there for Mark Palmer. Next to go, we'll have competitor number 102, Wyatt Young, riding Gotta Love a CD. Followed by number 103, Sarah Cookson, riding Arizona. Peter Cookson now, correction, 103, Peter Cookson, riding Arizona. Number 104, Matt Bichaz, riding Obenvale Alley. Number 105 will be Pete Kaminsky, riding PC Polaris. Camp score of 21.33 for Mark Palmer. 21.33. So in the camp now we have competitor number 102, Wyatt Young, riding Gotta Love CD. Working outside, we have competitor number 102, Wyatt Young, riding Gotta Love CD. Wyatt's from Tamworth here in New South Wales. So winner of the World Championship Campdraft at the 2022 Sydney Royal Easter Show. Thanks, Wyatt. Completed round here this morning for competitor 102, Wyatt Young, riding Gotta Love CD.
In the camp will be 103, Peter Cookson on Arizona. He'll be followed by 104, Matty Beaches on Obenvale Alley. 105, Pete Kaminsky on PC Polaris. 106, Matt Durkin on Twice More. 107, Chris Sherwood on Karma. 108, Mark Buttsworth on Granny's Rocks.
Score for our last competitor, Wyatt Young, riding Gotta Love CD. 15 for cutout, 60 for horse work, 4 for the course, total of 79 points. Well completed course here for Peter Cookson riding Arizona. We'll have a score through very shortly. Score for Peter Cookson riding Arizona, 22 for cutout, 62 for horsework, 4 for the course. Gives him a total of 88 points here this morning.
In camp now is number 104, Maddie Beaches on Oban Vale Alley. 105 at the gate is Pete Comiskey on PC Polaris.
Well, we see Gippsland Victorian competitor Matt Beaches working outside. Thanks, Matt. We'll have a score coming through very shortly.
In the camp is 105, Pete Comiskey on PC Polaris. 106, Matt Durkin, twice more. 107, Chris Sherwood on Karma.
Score for our last competitor, Matt Beaches there, competitor 104, 21.33 for cutout, 64.33 for horsework, 4 for the course, a grand total of 89.67. On course now we have competitor number 105, Pete Comiskey riding PC Polaris.
That was close. I'll leave that to the judges. 106 in the camp, Matt Durkin on Twice More. 107, Chris Sherwood on Karma. 108, Mark Buttsworth on Granny's Rocks. 109, Cassie Fordham on I'm a Smart Cat. 110, Jamie Gray on Gunning Down. 111, Harry Larnick on Courtney. And 112, Adam Parker on Russ.
On course now we have competitor 106, Matt Durkin, riding Twice More. Twice More, a novice gelding by One More Daddy.
Cassie Fordham.
Thanks, Mac. Matt Durkin there, riding Twice More. And just to bring you up to date with your catalogue, for our previous competitor 105, Pete Comiskey riding PC Polaris at a cutout of 20.67, 58.33 for horsework, 4 for the course, a total of 83 points for our last competitor, Pete Comiskey. We'll have a score for Matt Durkin riding Twice More very shortly.
Number 107, Chris Sherwood on Karma is in the camp. He'll be followed by 108, Mark Buttsworth on Granny's Rocks. And 109, Cassie Fordham on I'm a Smart Cat.
Over score for our last competitor, Matt Durkin, riding twice more, competitor 106, 19.67 for the cutout, 61 for horse work, 4 for the course, a grand score of 84.67, 84.67. Working outside here this morning, we have competitor 107, Chris Sherwood. And Chris is riding Karma.
Jamie Gray.
Thanks, Chris. Completed round here this morning there for competitor 107, Chris Sherwood, riding Karma.
108 in camp now is Mark Buttsworth on Granny's Rocks. He'll be followed by 109, Cassie Fordham on I'm a Smart Cat. 110, Jamie Gray on Gunning Down. 111, Harry Larnick on Courtney.
Score for our last competitor, Chris Sherwood, riding Karma. 20.67 for the cutout, 63 for horse work, 4 for the course, a total of 87.67. On course now, we have competitor 108, Mark Buttsworth, riding Granny's Rock.
Harry Larnick.
Well, we have a score now for Mark Buttsworth, competitor 108, riding Granny's Rocks. Cut out of 22 only, 22 points there for Granny Rocks. And Mark Buttsworth was Granny's Rocks, owned by Mr. John Farnham.
So in camp 109, Cassie Fordham on I'm a Smart Cat. Cassie's from Atunga. She'll be followed by 1110, Jamie Gray on Gunning Down. 111, Harry Larnick on Courtney. 112, Adam Parker on Russ. 113, Chris Nicholson on Braveview King's Ransom. 114, Dean Rogers on Summer Rain. 115, Danielle Turns on Oaks Pink Lady. And 116, Lockie Sim on Destiny Cherry.
Well, that was competitor 109, Cassie Fordham from Tamworth, riding I'm a Smart Cat. Of a cutout score very shortly there for Cassie. Well, cutout score for Atunga competitor Cassie Fordham of 20.67.
In the camp now, 110, on Jamie Gray on Gunning Down. Jamie's from Grantham. He'll be followed by 111, Harry Larnick on Courtney, and 112, Adam Parker on Russ.
So on course, we have competitor 110, Jamie Gray from Grantham in Queensland, riding Gunning Down.
Chris Nicholson.
111 in camp, Harry Larnick on Courtney. Harry's from Perthville. He'll be followed by 112, Adam Parker on Russ. 113, Chris Nicholson on Braveview King's Ransom. 114, Dean Rogers on Summer Rain. 115, Danielle Turns on Oaks Pink Lady.
Well, score for our last competitor, 110, Jamie Gray from Grantham in Queensland, riding Gunning Down at a cutout score of 20.67, 59.67 for horsework, 4 for the course, a score of 84.33. Watching on course now, competitor number 111, Harry Larnick, riding Courtney. Cut out score here this morning for competitor number 111, Harry Larnick riding Courtney, a cutout of 21. On course now we have competitor number 112, Adam Parker. Adam's from Ballarat in Victoria. Adam was riding Russ. I've a cutout here this morning there for Adam.
113 in the camp now is Chris Nicholson on Braveview King's Ransom. Chris is from Maruya. He'll be followed by another Monero competitor, 114, Dean Rogers on Summer Rain. 115, Danielle Turns on Oaks Pink Lady. And 116, Lockie Sim on Destiny Cherry.
Cut out score for our last competitor, number 112, that was Adam Parker riding Russ. They had a cutout of 21.33. So on course we have competitor 113, Chris Nicholson from Maruya. Cut out for Chris Nicholson, competitor 113 riding Braveview King's Ransom, cut out of 20.33.
Dean Rogers in the camp now on Summer Rain at 114. 115 at the gate is Danielle Turns, Oaks Pink Lady. 116, Lockie Sim on Destiny Cherry. 117, Roger Grant, he's a metallic cat. 118 is Andrew Turvey on Ruby. 119, Ben McNaughton on Omo. And 120, John Mitchell on Miss Hardacre.
So on course we have competitor number 114, Dean Rogers, riding BR Summer Rain. Summer Rain, a 15-year-old dual open mare. Has won numerous cutouts and open drafts. Thanks, Dean. Dean Rogers, competitor number 114, riding BR Summer Rain.
Our next competitor, 115, Danielle Turns on Oaks Pink Lady. Danielle is from Penrose. At the gate is 116, Lockie Sim on Destiny Cherry, and 117, Roger Grant on He's a Metallic Cat.
Well, we have a score for our last competitor, number 114, Dean Rogers, riding BR Summer Rain, 20 for cutout, 57.67 for horsework, 4 for the course, a score of 81.67. Cutout score for competitor number 115, Danielle Thimes, riding Oaks Pink Lady, a cutout of 15.33.
$116, Lockie Sim in the camp on Destiny Cherry. Lockie's from Holbrook. 117 is Roger Grant on He's a Metallic Cat. 118, Andrew Turvey on Ruby. And 119, Ben McNaughton Omo. 120 is John Mitchell on Miss Hardacre. And 121, Fiona Palmer on Binia Lorena.
Thanks, Lockie Sim there, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Competitor number 116, riding Destiny's Cherry, a cutout here this morning of 20.
$117 in the camp now is Roger Grant on He's a Metallic Cat. Roger is from Tamworth. Followed by 118, Andrew Turvey on Ruby. 119, Ben McNaughton on Omo.
Camp score for competitor number 117 from Tamworth, Roger Grant, riding He's a Metallic Cat at a camp score of 14.33. $118 in the camp now is Andrew Turvey on Ruby. Ruby is owned by Banjo Turvey, and Andrew is from Wendowan. 119 will be next is Ben McNaughton on Omo. 120 John Mitchell on Miss Hardacre, and 121 Fiona Palmer on Binia Lorena. So after 118 will be 119 Ben McNaughton on Omo, 120 John Mitchell on Miss Hardacre, 121 Fiona Palmer on Binia Lorena, 122 Terry Hall on Congirl, and 123 Hugh Miles on Connie. Watching competitor number 118, Andrew Turvey, riding Ruby from Junda Plains of Wandowan. Camp score for Andrew Turvey, competitor number 118, riding Ruby, a camp score of 14.67.
In the camp now, you're watching number 119, Ben McNaughton on Omo. At the gate will be 120, John Mitchell on Miss Hardacre. 121, Fiona Palmer on Binia Lorena. 122, Terry Hall on Congirl. 123, Hugh Miles on Connie. 124, David Murphy on Coolers and Acre. 125 will be Steve Comiskey on Hudder Full of Jewels.
Watching on course, competitor number 119, Ben McNaughton riding Omo. Score for our last competitor, Ben McNaughton riding Omo, competitor number 119, 21 for the cutout. 63 for horsework, 4 for the course, a score of 88 points. 88 points for Ben McNaughton riding Omo. On course we have competitor number 120, John Mitchell riding Miss Heartache. So John's from Tooma. Good one. That's a nice round here this morning for Tooma competitor. Good to see John here this year at Willinga Park. Competitor number 120, riding Miss Hardacre.
In the camp, 121, Fiona Palmer on Binia Lorena from Cooler. She'll be followed by 122, Terry Hall on Congirl. 123, Hugh Miles on Connie. And 124, David Murphy on Coolers and Acre. Then there'll be a flush of cattle for 125, Steve Comiskey on Hut Full of Jewels.
Well, numbers have come through for our last competitor, number 120, John Mitchell riding Miss Hardacre. 21 for cutout, 59.67 for horsework, 4 for the course, a score of 84.67. Watching now, competitor number 121, Fiona Palmer, riding Binia Lorena. Well, scoreboard here this morning for Fiona Palmer, competitor number 121, riding Binia Lorena, 21 for cutout, 61 for horsework, 4 for the course, a score of 86 points, 86 points.
Working in camp, 122, Terry Hall on Congirl from Gundawindi. He'll be followed by 123, Huey Miles on Connie, 124, David Murphy, and then a change of cattle for Steve Comiskey at 125. Terry Hall on course, competitor 122, riding Congirl.
Congirl side by Hazelwood Conman, an open mare.
So in camp 1, 2, 3, Hugh Miles on Connie, who's from Tamworth. At the gate will be 1, 2, 4, David Murphy on Cool as an Acre, 1, 2, 5, Steve Comiskey on Hat Full of Jewels, 1, 2, 6, Wyatt Young on Making Hats Off to Shakira, 1, 2, 7, Sophie Heffernan on Neat Little Spin, and 1, 2, 8, Alice Fitzpatrick on Royal Red Pepto.
Well, score for our last competitor, 1, 2, 2, Terry Hall riding Congirl. 20.67 for the cutout, 60.33 for horsework, 4 for the course, a score of 85 points. Now we have competitor number 1, 2, 3, Hugh Miles riding Connie. Well, we have the score for our last competitor, competitor 1, 2, 3, Hugh Miles riding Connie at a 21 for cutout, 61.67 for horsework, 4 for the course, score of 86.67 there for Hugh Miles.
Working in camp is 1, 2, 4, David Murphy on Cool as an Acre. David's from Talbot in Victoria. This horse is owned by Amanda Keatley. Into the camp next is 1, 2, 5, Steve Comiskey on Hat Full of Jewels. 1, 2, 6, Wyatt Young on Making Hats Off to Shakira.
Put them out the back, Steve.
Well, David Murphy on course, riding Cool as an Acre. The stallion that he rides, and a lovely round here this morning. The time now is about to hit 20 minutes past 10 o'clock. Well, score comes through for competitor number 1, 2, 4. Competitor 1, 2, 4, David Murphy riding Cool as an Acre. 21.67 for the cutout, 63 for horsework, 4 for the course, and we add those numbers together, that will give us a score of 88.67 for David Murphy, competitor number 1, 2, 4 riding Cool as an Acre.
One, 2, 5 in the camp is Steve Comiskey on Hat Full of Jewels. Steve is from Capella in Queensland. At the gate is 1, 2, 6, Wyatt Young on Making Hats Off to Shakira. 1, 2, 7, Sophie Heffernan on Neat Little Spin. 1, 2, 8, Alice Fitzpatrick on Royal Red Pepto. 1, 2, 9, Zane Haberman on Goose. 130, Brett Welsh on Cedar Grove Contessa. 131, Bill Kerry on Fully Loaded. And 132, Ben Hall on Hall's According.
So on course now we have competitor number 125, Steve Kaminsky, riding Hatful of Jewels. 6-year-old mare on the maiden Campdraft at Alpha, sired by Cat in a Hat.
One, 2, 6 in the camp is Wyatt Young on Making Hats Off to Shakira, followed by 1, 2, 7 Sophie Heffernan on Neat Little Spin. Wyatt's from Tamworth, and Making Hats Off to Shakira is owned by Barry Henson.
Well, score for our last competitor, competitor 125. Correction, we'll have that score very shortly.
A big thank you to our judges here for the gold buckle. Mark Ruff, Mark and Shelley are from Diggers Rest in Victoria. Rodney McKinnon as judge number 2, joined here by his wife Lorraine, and they're from Narrabri in New South Wales. And Peter Dowling, joined by his wife Susan from Cloncurry in Queensland. A big thank you to the judges.
Ryan? No, I want him to bring it.
Thanks, White. Competitor 126, White Young there riding Making Hats Off to Shakira. Now we have a score for our previous competitor. Competitor 125, Steve Kaminsky, riding Hatful of Jewels, had 21.67 for the cutout, 52.67 for horsework, 3 for the course, score of 77.33. Score for our last competitor, White Young, competitor number 126, cutout of 22, 61.33 for horsework, 4 for the course, score of 87.33. 87.33 there for White Young, riding Making Hats Off Shakira.
In the camp now is 127 Sophie Heffernan on Neat Little Spin. Sophie's from Candelo. She'll be followed by 128 Alice Fitzpatrick on Royal Red Pepto, and 129 Zane Haberman on Goose.
Thanks, Sophie. That was competitor number 127, Sophie Heffernan, riding Neat Little Spin. Well, score there for competitor 127, Sophie Heffernan, riding Neat Little Spin, 20 for cutout, 57.67 for horsework, 3 for the course, score of 80.67.
128 in the camp is Alice Fitzpatrick on Royal Red Pepto. Pepto is owned by Michael Fitzpatrick, and they're from Rowsley. 129 Zane Haberman on Goose, 130 Brett Welsh on Cedar Grove Contessa, 131 Bill Carey on Fully Loaded. 132 Ben Hall on Halls According. 133 is Casey Cambridge on Mewburn Wish List. And 134 Ben Matom on Eve Costa.
So on course, we're watching competitor number 128, Alice Fitzpatrick, riding a Royal Red Pepto. Royal Red Pepto's an open mare by Pepto's Stylish Oak.
One, 2, 9 in the camp now is Zane Haberman on Goose. Goose is owned by Kerry Thompson, and Zane is from Springshaw. At the gate will be 130 Brett Welsh on Cedar Grove Contessa, 131 Bill Carey on Fully Loaded, and 132 Ben Hall on Halls According.
Score for our last competitor, competitor 128, Alice Fitzpatrick, riding Royal Red Pepto. 20.67 for cutout, 62 for horse work, 4 for the course, a score of 86.67. Zane Haberman now on course, riding Goose, competitor number 129. Goose is a 9-year-old gelding.
$130 in camp is Brett Welsh on Cedar Grove Contessa. Brett is from Kerry. He'll be followed by 131 Bill Carey on Fully Loaded and 132 Ben Hall on Halls According.
We have a score coming through for our last competitor, 129 Zane Haberman from Springshaw in Queensland, riding Goose. 16.33 for cutout, 61.33 for horse work, 4 for the course, total of 81.67. On course, we're watching competitor number 130 in the draw, Brett Welsh, riding Cedar Grove Contessa. A very successful stock horse national show last week in Tamworth. And we'll have a camp score very shortly there for Brett.
And in camp, 131 is Bill Carey on Fully Loaded. Fully Loaded is owned by Bill and Jill Carey from Gundawindi. 132 at the gate is Ben Hall on Halls According. 133 is Casey Cambridge on Mewburn Wish List. 134 is Ben Matom on Eve Costa. 135 is David Thorne on One Stylish Jewel. 136 Scott Shea on Hannaford Stud Renegade. And 137 Bronwyn Upjohn on Cliffy.
We have a cutout score for our last competitor, 130 Brett Welsh, riding Cedar Grove Contessa, at a cutout of 15 points. Bill Carey from Gundawindi in Queensland, riding fully loaded on course. Their combination 131 in the draw. Fully loaded as a novice horse. And 6 years of age.
In the camp is 132, Ben Hall on Hall's According, owned by Ben and Jay Hall. Ben's from Julia Creek. He'll be followed by 133, Casey Cambridge on Mewburn Wishlist, and 134, Ben Matom on EV Costa.
Well, score for our last competitor, 131, Bill Carey, riding fully loaded. 21.67 for the cutout. 56.33 for horsework, 3 for the course, a score of 81 points. 81 points there for our last competitor, Bill Carey, and fully loaded. So competitor 132 is on course, Ben Hall riding Hall's According. 9-year-old Black Stallion by Acres Destiny. We have a score coming through for our last competitor, 132 in the draw. Score for your catalogue for Ben Hall, riding Hall's According. 16 for cutout. 62.33 for horsework. 3.67 for the course. A score of 82 points.
One, 3, 3 in the camp. You're watching Casey Cambridge on Mewburn Wishlist. Casey is from Wonthaggi. She'll be followed by 134 Ben Matom on EV Costa. 135 will then be David Thorne on One Stylish Jewel, and 136 Scott Shea on Hannaford Stud Renegade.
So on course we have Tamworth competitor 134 Ben Matum, riding EV Costa.
One up, John.
Thanks, Ben. Nice to see you down here this year. Ben Matum from Tamworth there, completed course competitor 134. A cutout for our previous competitor 133, that was Casey Cambridge, riding Mewburn Wishlist at a cutout of 20.33.
In camp, number 135, David Thorne on One Stylish Jewel, owned by David and Candy Thorne from Wollongbean. 136 at the gate is Scott Shea on Hannaford Stud Renegade. 137, Bronwyn Upjohn on Cliffy. 138, Campbell So out on course is 135, David Thorne on One Stylish Jewel, and in the camp, 136, Scott Shea on Hannaford Stud Renegade, 137, Bronwyn Upjohn on Cliffy, and 138, Campbell Boyloo on Freestyle.
138, Campbell.
Well, that was competitor number 135, David Thorne, riding One Stylish Jewel. Our previous competitor, Ben Madem, competitor 134, had a completed course, 21 for cutout, 63 for horsework, 4 for the course, score of 88 points there for Ben Madem. Score for David Thorne, who we just recently seen complete his round, competitor 135, riding One Stylish Jewel, 22 for cutout, 62.33 for horsework, 4 for the course, a score of 88.33. And just to keep your catalogues updated, competitor 132, Ben Hall, riding Hall's According, at a cutout of 16, 62.33 for horsework, 4 for the course, a grand score of 82.33, just for your catalogues to keep them up to date for competitor 132.
139, Darren Brisbane.
Cutout score there for competitor 136, Scott Shea, riding Hannaford Stud Renegade, 21 points.
So 137 in camp, Bronwyn Upjohn on Cliffy. At the gate will be 138, Campbell Boylow on Freestyle. 139, Darren Brisbane on Shadow Park Jasper. 140, Troy Palmer on Vinia Convoy. And 141 is Susan Dynastis on Roxy. I was hoping they might give me sign language. Ooh.
Come in, boys. Boys, boys, time to come back.
So, yeah. So in camp 137, Bronwyn Upjohn on Cliffy from Williamhaven. 138, Campbell Boylow on Freestyle. And 139, Darren Brisbane on Shadow Park Jasper.
So on course we have competitor number 137, Bronwyn Upjohn, riding Cliffy. Cliffy's sired by Electric Playboy. Well, we have a cutout score there for our last competitor, number 137, Bronwyn Upjohn, riding Cliffy, cutout of 23 points.
138 in the camp, Campbell Boileau on freestyle from Goulburn. Followed by 139, Darren Brisling on Shadow Park Jasper. 140, Troy Palmer on Binia Convoy. 141, Susan Dynastis on Roxy. 142, Sam Southern on Seligman Squirrel. 143, Pete Comiskey on Tunga Chrome. 144, Tim McCarthy on Coyote. And 145, Sophie Parbury on Archer. Bad luck there for 138, Campbell on freestyle. In camp now will be 139, Darren Brisling on Shadow Park Jasper. 140, Troy Palmer on Binia Convoy. Darren is from Hawthorn and Shadow Park Jasper is owned by Depco Pastoral. So in camp, 139, Darren Brisling on Shadow Park Jasper. 140, Troy Palmer on Binia Convoy. And 141, Susan Dynastis on Roxy.
So working outside, we have competitor number 139, Darren Brisling riding Shadow Park Jasper. Darren's from Wingham here on the mid-north coast of New South Wales. Shadow Park Jasper, a 6-year-old gelding, sired by Cadabra. The finalists in the Nutrient Classic, the winner of the highest scoring horse award.
Also please to the turnback riders, if you are not moving the cattle off the arena, you've been asked to leave the arena and warm up out here beside the announcer's stand. If you are not turning the cattle back on the arena, please.
Over the score for our last competitor 139, Darren Brisling riding Shadow Park Jasper, 21 for cutout, 57.33 for horse work, 3 for the course, a score of 81.33.
In camp now, 140 Troy Palmer on Binia Convoy, owned by Valinga Park and Troy and Fiona. Troy's from Cooler.
Well, Troy Palmer working outside, competitor 140, riding Binia Convoy, 6-year-old stallion, out of Jabel Shakira Spin, side by Conman, winner of the 2022 Scone Maiden.
In camp, 141, Susan Dynastis on Roxy. Susan's from Yarraman. She'll be followed by 142, Sam Southern on Seligman Squirrel. 143, Pete Comiskey on Tunga Chrome. 144, Tim McCarthy on Coyote. 145, Sophie Parbury on Archer. 146, Shane Palmer on Mr. Stylish. And 147, Adam Wheeler on Dingo Brook Spider-Man.
Well, score for our last competitor, competitor 140, Troy Palmer, riding Binia Convoy at a cutout of 21.33, 61.33 for horsework, 4 for the course, a score of 86.67 for competitor 140, Troy Palmer, riding Binia Convoy. Score for our last competitor, competitor number 141, Susan Dynastis, riding Roxy, at a cutout of 21 points.
You're watching 142 Sam Southern in camp now on Seligman Squirrel. Sam is from Fallon. 143 into the camp is Pete Comiskey on Tunga Chrome from Nebo, and 144 at the gate is Tim McCarthy on Coyote.
Sophie Parbury. Thank you.
Well, score for competitor 142, Sam Southern, riding Seligman Squirrel at a 20 for cutout, 58 for horsework, 3 for the course, a score of 81 points. 81 points there for our last competitor, 142, Sam Southern.
In camp now is 143 Pete Comiskey on Tunga Chrome. He'll be followed by 144 Tim McCarthy on Coyote, 145 Sophie Parbury on Archer, 146 Shane Palmer on Mr. Stylish, 147 Adam Wheeler on Dingo Brook Spider-Man, 148 Colin Tetley on Hannaford Stud Blueprint, 149 Kimberly Salmon on Smith Family Eve, 150 Michael Hiscock on Dolly, and a change of cattle for 151 Sam Hewkins on Quest.
So on course we have competitor 143, Pete Comiskey, riding Tunga Chrome.
Shane Palmer.
Well, score for competitor 143, Pete Comiskey riding Tunga Chrome, 19.33 for cutout, 59.67 for horsework, 4 for the course, a score of 83 points.
In camp now, you're watching 144 Tim McCarthy on Coyote, owned by Tim and Lauren McCarthy from Aldavilla. 145 into the camp now is Sophie Parbury on Archer. Sophie's from Bega. At the gate will be 146 Shane Palmer on Mr. Stylish, 147 Adam Wheeler on Dingo Brook Spider-Man.
So competitor 144, Tim McCarthy riding Coyote on course. A mare side by One More Playboy. She's a multiple open camp draft winner and bred by the McCarthy family. Also, like to say a very good morning and welcome to all of our viewers on the live stream, watching not only right around Australia but worldwide. So a very good morning.
Hello to you all.
And the score for our last competitor, competitor 144, Tim McCarthy riding Coyote, 21 for cutout, 60 for horsework, 4 for the course, a score of 85. 85 points there for Tim McCarthy.
In camp, you're watching 145 Sophie Parbury on Archer. She'll be followed by 146 Shane Palmer on Mr. Stylish, 147 Adam Wheeler on Spider-Man, and 148 Colin Tetley on Hannaford Stud Blueprint.
So we're watching competitor 145, Sophie Parbury riding Archer. Sophie's from Bega here in New South Wales. Archer ran 5th here in the 2021 to Willinga Park Gold Buckle Camp Draft. Ridden that year by Mr. Dean Rogers. So score for our last competitor, competitor 145, Sophie Parbury riding Archer, 16.33 for the cutout, 61 for horsework, 4 for the course, a score of 81.33.
In camp, 146 Shane Palmer on Mr. Stylish. Shane is from Tamworth. Following Shane will be 147 Adam Wheeler on Spider-Man. 148 Colin Tetley on Hannaford Stud Blueprint, and 149 Kimberly Salmon on Smith Family Eve.
So Mr. Stylish and Shane Palmer on course, competitor 146. Mr. Stylish, a 6-year-old gelding, sired by 1 Stylish Pepto.
So 147 in camp is Adam Wheeler on Spider-Man. Adam's from Cudgewar. 148 at the gate is Colin Tetley, Hannaford Stud Blueprint.
Cut out score for our last competitor, competitor 146, Shane Palmer riding Mr. Stylish. They had a cut out here this morning of 22 points, 22.
Big thank you to one of our major sponsors, Ringers Western. Ringers Western was formed in the rugged Kimberley region of Western Australia in 2012. Ringers Western will always be inspired by its roots. Like a ringer, Ringers Western, with its grassroots simplicity, high standard of design and quality, it is tough, adaptable, sometimes cheeky, but offers you class and loyalty.
Well, Victorian competitor Adam Wheeler, competitor 147 on course, riding Dingo Brook Spider-Man, a 12-year-old novice gelding, side by Strider. Thanks, Adam. Competitor 147 there. We'll have a score very shortly there for Adam Wheeler from Victoria.
In camp, 148, Colin Tetley on Hannaford Stud Blueprint. Colin is from Harold's Cross. He'll be followed by 149, Kimberley Salmon on Smith Family Eve.
Well, numbers have come through for our last competitor, 147, Adam Wheeler, riding Dingo Brook Spider-Man. 21 for cutout, 63 for horsework, 4 for the course, a score of 88 points neat, 88.
In camp, 149, Kimberley Salmon on Smith Family E, owned by Graham Kemp. Kimberley's from Bow Desert. Followed by 150, Michael Hiscock on Dolly. 151 with a fresh pen is Sam Hukins on Quest, and 152, Evan Bailey on Mumbula Snook.
Cutout score for our previous competitor number 148, Colin Tetley, riding Hannaford Stud Blueprint. Got a cutout here this morning of 20.33.
The 149 in the camp is Kimberley Salmon on Smith Family Eve, owned by Graham Kemp. Followed by 150, Michael Hiscock on Dolly. 151, Sam Hukins on Quest. 152, Evan Bailey on Mumbula Snook. 153, Wyatt Young on Liberty Silver Rain. 154, Simone Birch on Errington Susie Q. And 155, Pete Bolton on Miss Munro.
So on course we have competitor number 149, Kimberley Salmon, riding Smith Family Eve from Bow Desert in Queensland.
In camp, 150, Michael Hiscock on Dolly. Dolly's owned by Pat and Luke Hardwick, and Michael's from Maffra in Victoria. There'll be a change of cattle then for 151, Sam Hukins on Quest. 152, Evan Bailey on Mumbula Snook.
So on course we have competitor number 150 in the draw, Michael Hitchcock, riding Dolly. Thanks, Michael. Competitor 150, Michael Hitchcock riding Dolly. Our previous combination, competitor 149, Kimberley Semin riding Smith Family Eve. Score for your catalogue, cut out of 20.33, 60.67 for horsework, 4 for the course. Total of 85 points, 85 for Kimberley Semin riding Smith Family Eve. And we have a score for our last combination, competitor number 150, Michael Hitchcock riding Dolly, 17 for cutout, 59 for horsework, 4 for the course, total of 80 points.
151 in the camp is Sam Hewkins on Quest. Quest is owned by Neil Hewkins and Sam is from Bega. Followed by another Bega competitor, Evan Bailey on Mumbula Snook. 153 will then be Wyatt Young on Liberty Silver Rain. 154 Simone Birch on Eriton Susie Q. 155 Pete Bolton on Miss Munro. 156 Hugh Miles on Destiny's Playgirl. 157 Reese Anglin on Binia Verena. And 158 Matthew Whip on Breeze.
Well, we have a bigger competitor on course, Sam Hewkins. He's riding Quest, a 13-year-old mare. She's won a maiden Campdraft and was sired by Heatwave. And Sam's 22 years of age.
One 152 in the camp is Evan Bailey on Mumbula Snook, owned by Vanessa Todd. Evan's from Bega. 153 at the gate is Wyatt Young on Liberty Silver Rain. 154 Simone Birch on Eriton Susie Q.
Well, score for our last competitor, 151, Sam Hewkins riding Quest at a cutout of 19.33, 58.67 for horsework, 3 for the course, a score of 81 points. Well, cutout score for our last competitor, competitor 152, Evan Bailey, riding Mumbly Snook, at a cutout here this morning of 19.67.
.153 in the camp now is Wyatt Young on Liberty Silver Rain. Wyatt's from Tamworth. He'll be followed by 154 Simone Birch on Eriton Susie Q. 155 Pete Bolton on Miss Munro. 156 Hugh Miles on Destiny's Playgirl. And 157 Reese England on Binia Verena.
So we're watching Tamworth competitor 153 in the draw, White Young, riding Liberty Silver Rain. Liberty Silver Rain's an open mare. She's won multiple junior and juvenile camp drafts as well. Well, score for our last competitor, 153, White Young, riding Liberty Silver Rain, 21 for cutout, 63 for horsework, 4 for the course, score of 88 points. 88 points for competitor number 153, White Young and Liberty Silver Rain.
In camp, 154, Simone Birch on Susie Q, owned by Jack and Simone. From Grenier. Oops.
Two in, boys. Boys, two.
So a bit of bad luck there for Simone. Another beast got through the gate and she has been awarded a rerun. So that's Simone Birch in camp on Susie Q from Grenier. 155 at the gate is Pete Bolton on Miss Munro. 156 Hugh Miles on Destiny's Playgirl. 157 Reese Anglin on Binia Marina. 158 Matthew Whip on Breeze. 159 Rob Leach on Peel Vale Truce. And 160 Caroline Jones on Royal Perfection.
Guys, hey. Two in.
We have on course competitor 154, Simone Birch, riding Eriton Susie Q from Tallangatta in Victoria.
Always good to see after a rerun. In camp, 155, Pete Bolton on Miss Munro, owned by Pete and Michelle Bolton from Hayfield. At the gate will be 156, Hugh Miles on Destiny's Playgirl, and 157, Reese England on Binia Marina.
Well, score for our last competitor, 154, Simone Birch, riding Eriton Susie Q. 20.67 for cutout, 61.33 for horsework, 4 for the course. We add those numbers together, that gives us a score of 86 points, 86 there for Simone. So Miss Munro and Peter Bolton, combination 155 in the draw on course. Miss Munro, a 6-year-old mare, sired by Secret Assassin.
In camp, 156 Hugh Miles on Destiny's Playgirl, owned by Peter and Carolyn Doonan, Hughes from Tamworth. 157 will be next, and that will be Reese England, Binia Verena. 158, Matthew Whip on Breeze, and 159, Rob Leach on Peel Vale Truth.
Well, score for our last combination, Peter Bolton riding Miss Munro, competitor 155, 22 for cutout, 62.33 for horsework, 4 for the course, score of 88.33.
So out on course 156, Hugh Miles. In camp 157, Reese England on Binia Verena. 158, Matt Whip on Breeze.
Score for our last competitor, competitor 156, Hugh Miles riding Destiny's Playgirl. 22 for cutout, 61.67 for horsework, 4 for the course, a grand score of 87.67. 87.67 there for Hugh Miles.
.157 in camp is Reese England on Binia Verena. Verena is owned by Phil England, and
so Reese England and Binia Verena on course. Particular horse signed by Impressive Destiny out of Binias Arena. He's a multi-award winning Australian all-round champion cowboy. And we have a cutout score here this morning for competitor 157, Reese England riding Binia Verena. Camp score of 16 points.
158 in the camp, Matthew Whip on Breeze, owned by Matthew and Dallas Whip from Maruya. 159 at the gate is Rob Leach on Peel Vale Truce, followed by 160, Carolyn Jones on Royal Perfection. 161, Matt French on Clonmel Charm. 162, Kate Stokes on Tactic. 163, Louise Comiskey on Zahara. 164, Phil Collins on Clover. 165, Norman Stagg on Tapioca. 166, Amy Cheney on Casper's Shadow.
Well, cutout score for our last competitor, competitor number 158, Matthew Whip riding Breeze, had a camp score of 20 points.
In the camp, 159, Rob Leach on Peel Vale Truce. Rob is from Atunga. He'll be followed by 160, Carolyn Jones on Royal Perfection, and 161, Matt French on Charm. So out on course is 159, Rob Leach on Peel Vale Truce, followed by 160 in the camp, Carolyn Jones on Royal Perfection. Royal Perfection is owned by a Tallawong Partnership, and Caroline's from Old Junee. 161 at the gate is Matt French on Charm, 162 Kate Stokes on Tactic, 163 Louise Comiskey on Zahara, and 164 Phil Collins on Clover.
Well, score for our last competitor, 159, Rob Leach from Atunga riding Pillvale Truce. 20.67 for the cutout, 61 for horsework, 4 for the course, 85.67 will be the score. Well, that was competitor number 160, Caroline Jones riding Royal Perfection. And we have a cutout score of 20.67.
So in camp, 161 Matt French on Charm, owned by Matt Chrissy French from Nimidibel. Followed by 162 Kate Stokes on Tactic, 163 Louise Comiskey on Zahara.
Well, that was competitor number 161, Matt French from Nimidabel, riding Clonmel Charm. Cutout score of 21.67.
And in camp, 162 Kate Stokes on Tactic. Tactics owned by Peter Cookson. Kate is from Bolin. 163 at the gate will be Louise Comiskey on Zahara, 164 Phil Collins on Clover, 165 Norman Stagg on Tapioca, 166 Amy Cheney on Casper's Shadow, 167 Tony Cooks on How's That Queen Bee, and 168 Bo Botel on Con One More.
On course, we have competitor number 162, Kate Stokes, riding Tactic from Bolin in Queensland. Winner of the Bolin 2022 Open Camp Draft. A 17-year-old open mare.
So in camp, 163, Louise Comiskey from Capella on Zahara. Zahara is owned by Stephen Louise Comiskey. 164, waiting will be Phil Collins on Clover, and 165, Norman Stagg on Tapioca.
Well, scoreboard says for our last competitor, number 162, Kate Stokes from Bolin in Queensland, riding Tactic. Cutout score of 20.67. 62.33 for horsework, 4 for the course, score of 87 points. 87 there for Kate Stokes riding Tactic.
So in camp 163, Louise Comiskey on Zahara, owned by Stephen Louise, working hard. Followed by 164, Phil Collins on Clover, and 165, Norman Stagg on Tapioca.
So LD Sahara and Louise Kaminsky on course, 14-year-old mare, side by Sophisticated Cat out of CD Gold. Won numerous ladies and opened camp drafts and cutouts.
In camp 164, your Bombala competitor, Phil Collins on Clover. Clover's owned by Chris Page. 165, Norman Stagg on Tapioca. 166, Amy Cheney on Casper's Shadow. 167, Tony Cux on How's That Queen Bee. 168, Bo Botel on Con One More. 169, Zeb Pearce on Moxie Storm. 170, Pete Comiskey on Knight's Ransom. And 171, Adam Felton on Cool.
Well, that was competitor number 164, Phil Collins, riding Clover. Our previous competitor number 163, Louise Comiskey, riding LD Sahara, had a cutout of 22. 62 for horsework, 4 for the course, total of 88 points. 88 points for Louise Kaminsky. And Phil Collins from Bombala, our previous competitor number 164, had 17 points for the cutout.
Yes. 165 on course, Norman Stagg on Tapioca from Westdale, followed by 166, Amy Cheney on Casper's Shadow.
Well, competitor number 165, Norm Stagg and Tapioca, go out with a cutout score of 21 points.
In camp now, 166, Amy Cheney on Casper's Shadow, owned by her father, Noel Cheney. Amy's from Barry.
Keep going, keep going.
.167 will be Tony Cooks on How's That Queen Bee. 168, Bo Botel on Con One More.
So Casper Shadow and Amy Cheney from Blaney here in New South Wales on course. 6-year-old novice mare by Sligman Spin. And they complete their course here this morning. Have won numerous and placed in many draft shows and challenges. So we'll have a score very shortly for our Blaney competitor, Amy Cheney.
In camp, you're watching 167, Tony Cooks on How's That Queen Bee. From Mergon, 168, Bo Botel, Con One More. 169.
Work 4 for the course, score of 87.33. So watching now competitor 167, Tony Cooks, riding How's That Queen Bee from Bergen in Queensland.
So in camp, 168 Bobo Tell on Con One More, owned by Don Moffat from Calbar. 169 Zeb Pierce on Moxie Storm. 170 Pete Comiskey on Knipes Ransom. 171 Adam Felton on Cool. 172 Nada Grover on Must Be Kitty Baloo. 173 Travis Glover on DJ. 174 Alex Malloy on Chorley's Mischief. And 175 Troy Palmer on Who's Divine.
Adam Felt.
So Bobo Tell's on course, competitor 168, riding Con One More. 7-year-old gelding by One More Daddy. Thanks, Bo. Well, we have a score for our previous competitor, Tony Cooks, competitor number 167. 21.33 for cutout, 62.33 for horsework, 4 for the course, 87.67. So that was for competitor number 167, Tony Cooks. Score for our last competitor, competitor 168, Bobo Tell, riding Ken One More. 20.33 for cutout, 58 for horsework, 4 for the course, a score of 82.33.
And in the camp, 169 Zeb Pierce on Moxie Storm. Zeb is from Nundle. Into the camp now, 170 Pete Comiskey on Knipes Ransom, owned by Jeremy Storia. Pete's from Nebo. 171 Adam Felton on Cool. 172 Nada Grover on Must Be Kitty Balloon.
$172 Nada Grover. Thank you.
Score for competitor 169, Zeb Pierce, riding Moxie Storm. 22 for cutout, 59.67 for horsework, 4 for the course, score of 85.67. On course now, we have competitor number 170, Pete Comiskey from Nebo in Queensland, riding Knipes Ransom.
Travis Glover.
Many completed courses here today with these beautiful Willinga cattle. In the camp now, 171 Adam Felton on Cool. 172 Nada Grover on Must Be Kitty Baloo. 173, Travis Glover on DJ. 174, Alex Malloy on Mischief. 175, With a Fresh Yard of Cattle is Troy Palmer on Who's Divine. 176, Mark Buttsworth on One Stylish Madonna. And 177, William Chugg on Bailey's Hooligan.
Well, score for competitor 170, Pete Comiskey riding Conniped Ransom. 22 for cutout, 61.67 for horsework. 4 for the course, a score of 87.67 there for Pete Comiskey riding Conniped Ransom. Cutout score of 16 points for competitor number 171, Adam Felton riding Cool.
In camp is Nada Grover on Must Be Kitty Baloo from Lakeside. She'll be followed by 173, Travis Glover on DJ. 174, Alex Malloy on Mischief. And 175, Troy Palmer on Who's Divine.
Piano. 179 is a scratch. Tell them what it is, but I don't know already.
In camp, 173, Travis Glover on DJ. Travis is from Nyora. He'll be followed by 174, Alex Malloy on Mischief. 175, after a change of cattle, will be Troy Palmer on Who's Divine. 176, Mark Buttsworth on One Stylish Madonna. 177, William Chugg on Bailey's Hooligan. And 178, Gay McBurney on Condamine Riola.
Well, score for competitor 172, our competitor just before Travis there. Competitor 172 was Nada Grover. 18.33 for cutout, 60.67 for horsework, 4 for the course, score of 83 points. And we have a camp score of 21 points for competitor number 173, Travis Glover, riding DJ.
In camp now, you're watching 174, Wagga competitor Alex Malloy on Mischief. In the camp then will be 175, Troy Palmer on Who's Divine. And 176, Mark Buttsworth on One Stylish Madonna.
Well, competitor number 174, Alex Malloy, riding Charlie's Mischief, go out with a camp score of 20 points.
In camp, 175, Troy Palmer on Who's Divine, owned by Willinga Park. Troy's from Coolah. 176 at the gate, Mark Buttsworth on One Stylish Madonna. 177, William Chugg on Bailey's Hooligan. 178, Gay McBurney on Condamine Riola. 179, Sarah Nichols on The Smartest Con. 180, Hugh Philp on Palmer's Dakota. 181, Scarlett Chaston on Sunland Digger. And 182, Sue Willis on Duke's Boot. So in camp, 175, Troy Palmer on Who's Divine, Willinga Park horse. Terry will be watching with anticipation, no doubt. Followed 175 will be 176, Mark Buttsworth on One Stylish Madonna, and 177, William Chugg on Bailey's Hooligan.
Well, competitor 175, Troy Palmer riding Who's Divine on course. 14-year-old mare by Who's Top Cat out of Divine Miss Ray, who was the winner of the 2017 Warwick Gold Cup. Score for competitor 175, Troy Palmer riding Who's Divine, 21.33 for cutout, 63 for horsework, 4 for the course, a score of 88.33.
Out on course now is Mark Buttsworth on One Stylish Madonna, owned by Chris Cummins. Mark is from Kingaroy in Queensland. Into the camp, 177, William Chugg on Bailey's Hooligan from Wandoan. 178 at the gate is Gay McBurney on Condamine Riola. 179, Sarah Nichols on The Smartest Con, and 180, Hugh Philp on Palmer's Dakota.
Well, scoreboard says for competitor 176, Mark Buttsworth riding One Stylish Madonna, 21 for cutout, 63 for horsework, 4 for the course, a score of 88 points. 88 points there for Mark Buttsworth riding One Stylish Madonna. Welcome out now, competitor number 177, William Chugg from Wandoan in Queensland. William's 27 years of age, and he is riding Bailey's Hooligan, a gelding side by Binia, Impressive Destiny.
In camp, 178 Gay McBurney on Condamine Riola. Riola or Roni is owned by SKG Performance Horses. 179 is not running. 180 will be Hugh Philp on Palmer's Dakota.
Well, score for competitor 177 William Chuck riding Bailey's Hooligan. 21.33 for cutout, 60 for horse work, 4 for the course, 85.33 was the score. Well, this is competitor number 178, Gay McBurney riding Condamine Riola from Jindabyne here in New South Wales. Condamine Riola, or Roni, is known around the stable. A 21-year-old novice mare on ladies camp draft, 2 novice drafts by Roy and Roni out of Condamine Reflection.
Another completed course here with this beautiful line of Willinga cattle. Done an exceptional job to get this beautiful line of Herefords.
Yeah, just tell the judges there.
In camp, 180 Hugh Philp on Palmer's Dakota. Hugh is from Claremont. 181 is Scarlett Chaston on Sunland Digger. 182 Sue Willis on Duke's Boot. 183 Steve Comiskey on Broomsfield Stylish Diamond. 184 Penny McIntosh on Hazelwood Co-Pilot. 185 Hugh Miles on Spinneray. 186 Jack Southern on Lady. 187 Lindsay Hindle on Smith Family Smooth Touch. 188 Bryony Puddicombe on Time Checks. 189 Zane Haberman on Memphis, and 190 Jackie Myers on Ginger.
Well, we have a score for competitor 178, Gay McBurney riding Condamine Riola. 21 for cutout, 59.33 for horse work. We had 4 for the course and a score of 84.33. 84.33 for competitor number 178, Gay McBurney riding Condamine Riola.
So 180 in the yard is Hugh Philp on Palmer's Dakota from Claremont. 181 at the gate is Scarlett Chaston on Sunland Digger. 182 Sue Willis on Duke's Boot. 183 Steve Comiskey on Broomsfield Stylish Diamond. And 184 Penny McIntosh on Hazelwood Co-Pilot. Just having a little trouble here getting a beast out of the camp. Another for good measure.
What number is he? 79 was a scratch.
So 180 working in camp, Hugh Phil on Palmer's Dakota, followed by 181 Scarlett Chaston on Sunland Digger.
Palmer's Dakota, side by El Condo. Lightly drafted mare.
Steve Comiskey.
Well, completed round for our Clermont Central Queensland competitor number 180. Hugh Phillip riding the El Condo bred mare Palmer's Dakota. Well, score for competitor number 180, Hugh Phillip riding Palmer's Dakota, 20.67 for cutout, 62.33 for horsework, 4 for the course, a score of 87 points.
Mate, got that gate.
In the camp, 181 Scarlett Chaston on Sunland Digger from Gerodgery. She'll be followed by 182 Sue Willis on Duke's Boot, 183 Steve Comiskey on Broomsfield Stylish Diamond, 184 Penny McIntosh on Hazelwood Co-Pilot, and 185 Hugh Miles on Spin Array.
Scotty, tap talk. Tap talk, you do it. A lot of standing around talking. Very time poor.
Oh, a bit of bad luck there.
Well, cutout score of 21 points there for competitor number 181, Scarlett. Scarlett Chaston riding Sunland Digger.
In camp now, we have our Ladysmith competitor, Sue Willis on Duke's Boot. She'll be followed by 183 Steve Comiskey on Broomsfield Stylish Diamond, 184 Penny McIntosh on Hazelwood Co-Pilot, 185 Hugh Miles on Spin Array, 186 Jack Southern on Lady, 187 Lindsay Hindle on Smith Family Smooth Touch, 188 Bryony Puddicombe on Time Checks, 189 Zane Haberman on Memphis, 190 Jackie Myers on Ginger, and 191 Brett Welsh on Annie's Gift.
Well, watching on course now from Ladysmith here in the Riverina of New South Wales. This is Sue Willis, competitor number 181, riding Sunland Digger. A 13-year-old gelding signed by Wallabar XL. Very consistent horse. And they've got highlighted here, hates water. Well, score for competitor number 182 from Ladysmith, Sue Willis riding Duke's Boot. 21.67 for cutout, 62.33 for horsework, 4 for the course, a score of 88 points.
Working in camp now is 183 Steve Comiskey on Broomsfield Stylish Diamond, owned by Steve and Louise Comiskey from Capella. He'll be followed by 184 Penny McIntosh on Hazelwood Co-Pilot. In camp now, 184 Penny McIntosh on Hazelwood Co-Pilot.
Well, score for our last competitor, competitor 183, Steve Comiskey riding Broomfield Stylish Diamond, 21.33 for cutout, 61.67 for horsework, 4 for the course, a score of 87 points, 87 for Steve Comiskey. Catalogue number 184 is on course now. This is Penny McIntosh riding Hazelwood Co-Pilot, side by Hazelwood Conman out of Hazelwood Acres First Sight, a 6-year-old novice gelding.
In camp now, 185 Hugh Miles on Spin Array from Tamworth. At the gate will be 186 Jack Southern on Lady, 187 Lindsay Hindle on Smith Family Smooth Touch.
Well, score for competitor number 184, Penny McIntosh riding Hazelwood Co-Pilot, 21.67 for cutout, 61.67 for horsework, 4 for the course, a score of 87.33, 87.33 for Penny McIntosh riding Hazelwood Co-Pilot.
So in camp, you're watching 185 Hugh Miles on Spin Array. Into the camp next will be 186 Jack Southern on Lady, 187 Lindsay Hindle on Smith Family Smooth Touch, and 188 Bryony Puddicombe on Time Checks.
Well, score comes through for competitor number 185, Hugh Miles riding Spin Array, 22 for cutout, 60.67 for horsework, 4 for the course, a score of 86.67. Along course now, we watch competitor number 186, Jack Southern riding Lady from St George in Queensland. Jack's 21 years of age. Lady's a 7-year-old mare by RS Chisholm out of Doc Spinifex mare. Placed in numerous drafts and recently won the ACA Border Zone Rookie Horse. Score for catalogue number 186, Jack Southern from St George in Queensland, riding Lady, 21 for cutout, 55.33 for horsework, 3 for the course, score of 79.33.
In camp, 187, Lindsay Hindle on Smith Family Smooth Touch, owned by Lindsay and Belinda Hindle from Highfields. 188 is Bryony Puddicombe on Time Checks. 189, Zane Haberman on Memphis. 190, Jackie Myers on Ginger. 191, Brett Welsh on Annie's Gift. 192, Bill Carey on Imprint. In camp, 188, Bryony Puddicombe on Time Checks, owned by Pete. Bryony's from Nebo in Queensland. Should be followed by 189, Zane Haberman on Memphis. 190, Jackie Myers on Ginger. Did she not?
Well, score for there for Bridie Puddicombe, riding Time Checks, competitor number 188, 21.33 for cutout, 56.67 for horsework, 3 for the course, a score of 81 points. And our previous competitor, Lindsay Hindle, competitor number 187, riding Smith Family Smooth Touch, at a cutout score of 21 points.
$189 in the camp is Zane Haberman on Memphis, owned by Kerry Thompson. Zane is from Springshaw. Into the camp now is 190, Jackie Myers on Ginger, followed by 191, Brett Welsh on Annie's Gift, 192, Bill Carey on Imprint, and 193, Ben Hall on Marnie's North. $190 in camp is Jackie Myers on Ginger. Jackie's from Kayleen. She'll be followed by 191, Brett Welsh on Annie's Gift. 192 Bill Carey, imprint. 193 Ben Hall on Marnie's North. 194 Amy Jamison on CD. 195 Wyatt Young on Metallic Storm, and 196 Ben McNaughton on Melody's Chick.
Well, the score for competitor 189 from Springshaw, Zane Haberman riding Memphis. 21 for cutout, 62 for horsework, 4 for the course, a score of 87 points. 87 points. Well, unfortunately, bad luck there for competitor number 190, Jackie Myers, riding Ginger.
Oh, none of that was on. 191 in camp is Brett Welsh on Annie's Gift, owned by the Marshall Welsh family from Kerry. 192 Bill Carey on imprint. 193 Ben Hall on Marnie's North. 194 Amy Jamison on CD. 195 Wyatt Young on Metallic Storm, and 196 Ben McNaughton on Melody's Chick.
Well, on course, we're watching competitor number 191, Brett Welsh, riding Annie's Gift. And we see a completed round there for Queensland competitor 191, Brett Welsh, riding Annie's Gift. Score coming through there for Brett, 20.67 for cutout, 60.67 for horsework, 4 for the course, a score of 85.33.
In camp now, 192 Bill Carey on imprint, owned by Bill and Jill Carey from Gundawindi. Into the camp next will be 193 Ben Hall on Marnie's North, 194 Amy Jamison on CD, 195 Wyatt Young on Metallic Storm, 196 is Melody's Chick.
Well, camp score there for competitor number 192, Bill Carey, riding imprint, 19.67.
The official event photographer for the few days here at Willinga Park for the Gold Buckle Campdraft is Time Thyme Photography. So if you're after your photos, you can jump on Joe Thyme's photography website, and that's THIEME, for the official photos from this weekend's event.
So on course now, we're watching competitor number 193. This is Ben Hall, riding Marnie's North from Muttaburra in Queensland. 14-year-old open mare, sired by Marnie's Destiny.
In camp now, number 194, Amy Jamison on CD from Barraba. 195, Wyatt Young on Metallic Storm. 196, Ben McNaughton on Melody's Chick. 197, Wayne McDonald on O'Reilly's Covergirl. 198, Lockie Sim on Conness. 199, Ken Bolton on Oban Vale Alamo. And 200, Dean Norton on Binia Obama. Then there'll be a small break while they roll the arena and prepare it again for the next 100 runs.
Score for competitor number 193, Ben Hall, riding Marnie's North. 21.67 for cutout, 62.33 for horsework, 4 for the course, a score of 88 points. 88 points for our last competitor, Ben Hall, riding Marnie's North. On course now, we have competitor number 194, Amy Jemison, riding CD by CD Alina out of Diamantina Links. Winner of the 2022 Australian Championship Ladies. Well, a nice run here this morning for Amy Jemison, or afternoon I should say. The time now is 8 minutes past 12 o'clock. Once again, a very good afternoon and welcome to all of our live stream viewers that are watching right around the country. The Ringers Western Gold Buckle Campdraft here for 2023. Score for competitor number 194, Amy Jemison, riding CD. 20.67 for cutout, 62.33 for horsework, 4 for the course, a score of 87 points. 8-7 from our 3 official judges here this afternoon.
In camp, you're watching 195, Wyatt Young on Metallic Storm, owned by the Metallic Storm Syndicate, and Wyatt's from Tamworth. Into the camp, 196, Ben McNaughton on Melody's Chick. 197, Wayne McDonald on O'Reilly's Covergirl, and 198, Lockie Sim on Conness. A big thank you to Foresight for their support and providing quality joint supplements for not only our equine and canine friends, but also for us humans. Remember to scan the QR code around the venue for your chance to win a 2-year supply of Foresight for your horse, dog, and a 2-year supply of Osteo Restore for you.
Well, score for competitor 195, Wyatt Young, riding Metallic Storm from Tamworth. 22 for cutout, 64 for horsework, 4 for the course, a score of 90 points. That'll be the new leading score, 90 points.
He's having a cracking day. I haven't seen him miss one yet. Out on course now, 196, Ben McNaughton on Melody's Chick, owned by Bruce McNaughton from Walker. 197 into the camp is Wayne McDonald on O'Reilly's Cover Girl. 198, Lockie Sim on Kness. 199, Kenny Bolton on Obenvale Alamo. And 200, our last competitor before the break, Dean Norton on Binia Obama.
Well, on course we have competitor number 197, Wayne McDonald, riding O'Reilly's Cover Girl. O'Reilly's Cover Girl is a 16-year-old open mare by Acres Destiny.
In the camp is 198, Lockie Sim on Conness. Coming in next will be 199, Kenny Bolton on Obenvale Alamo, and 200, Dean Norton on Binia Obama.
Thanks, Wayne. Wayne McDonald there riding O'Reilly's Cover Girl. Just before Wayne, we had catalogue number 196. That was Ben McNaughton riding Melody's Chick at a cutout score of 21.33. Score for competitor number 197, Wayne McDonald riding O'Reilly's Cover Girl. 21 for cutout, 58.33 for horsework, 4 for the course, score of 83.33.
Out on course, 198, Lockie Sim on Conness, owned by Lockie and Beck Sim from Holbrook. Into the camp, 199, Ken Bolton on Obenvale Alamo, and Dean Norton on Binia Obama.
Well, another nice round there for Lockie Sim from Holbrook here in New South Wales. Well, score for competitor number 198, Lockie Sim riding Conness. 21 for cutout, 62.33 for horsework, 4 for the course, a score of 87.33.
Out on course, 199, Ken Bolton on Obenvale Alamo from Stradbroke in Victoria. And in the camp will be 200, Dean Norton on Binia Obama. Then we'll have a short break while the arena is rolled and prepared for the next 100 runs. So grab your lunch and then pop back and see the next couple of hours of some really good drafting.
Well, score there for competitor number 199, Ken Bolton riding Obenvale Alamo, my correction there, Alamo. 22.67 for cutout, 58.33 Well, cut out score there for our Lake Kajelico competitor Dean Norton riding Binia Obama, 20.67. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that completes that section of camp drafting here this afternoon. And we take a look at the leaderboard at this present stage. And, number 195, White Young, riding Metallic Storm, have got their noses in front with that brilliant score of 90 points that we've seen here this afternoon.
Pack of Bush Light, a can of Coke, baby, that's all we need. Take it past the county line, start a big bonfire out where the cops won't see.
And do the lasso, pull me real close, put your hands on your hips and dance real slow. Do the lasso, spin them around, do the two-step and dip them on down, up and down like a sea.
It's a 24-hour, 7-day a week, 7-day a week. Hi, I'm Eric Lowry, veterinary surgeon at Willinga Park. Willinga Park Vet Hospital aspires to be one of the best hospitals in Australia, provides a 24-hour, 7-day a week emergency and aftercare service. Our team of highly qualified staff is dedicated to offering a personalized and compassionate veterinary service, utilizing state-of-the-art technology within the vet hospital. The vet hospital is furnished with sophisticated diagnostic, medical and surgical equipment, as well as exclusive stables and an intensive care unit which features a very extensive reproductive barn with the best laboratory facilities. Our ambition at Willinga Park is to provide equine excellence to every horse discipline.
Well, Dan Steers here with Louise Kaminsky. It took a bit to get you out here. You a bit camera shy, Lee?
Yeah, I don't like the camera much.
Have you had a run today?
Yes, I had a run this morning early.
And how did you go?
I think I got 86.5.
Oh, well, that's got to be right up there. So you've had a good start. How many horses have you brought down with you?
I only brought 3 horses of my own and Steve's got 7, so we brought 10.
You got 10 all up. So you got 2 more rides left. What can we expect from the Kaminskis this week? Are you guys going to take home all the prizes?
Oh, it'd be nice. It's always nice to do well down here or anywhere really. Yeah, no, it'd be good. Feel horses are going good and feeling pretty confident.
And you said you got a run in a minute. How many runs until you're going to go out there?
63, so I think they're about up to nearly 50. So.
All right, well, we better let Lou go. She's going to have a run here in a minute. She better go and watch the cattle. Thanks for coming over and stopping by and having a chat.
No worries, thank you.
Dan Steers here with White Young. White's about 2 runs away, so we're only going to talk to him really quickly, but I want to know, what's your strategy going in?
I just hope we pick a good cow.
Can you tell us what sort of cow you're looking for?
Oh, just nice and pleasant. Lovely Hereford steer that Terry's provided for us.
And you've had a few runs. You've put some scores on the board?
Yeah, I've had a few runs and, yeah, got a bit lucky, a couple of scores, yeah.
And how many runs have you got to start the first round?
13.
So he's got 13 runs. Well, good luck. The cattle are in. I'll let you watch them, and hopefully we'll see you back in the final.
No, thank you.
Dan Steers here with Michael Hiscock, the 2021 Ringers Western Gold Buckle Camp Draft champion. How is it being back here, mate?
It's good. Yeah, it's really good. A lot more relaxed now, but it's good. Yeah, it's a good show.
And what do you think about the whole Willinga Camp Draft concept?
Oh, the concept's fantastic. You've just got to keep drawing cattle and keep going around. The competition's really strong. We've got a few years now that's been running, so the prestige is coming. It's a very good concept.
So I've been asking a lot of the riders, does it change your strategy going into the camp when you know the first 2 rounds get you back into a clean slate final? Does it change the way you draft?
Yes.
Can you elaborate?
I'll give away too much, maybe. It's just about scoring. So, you know, most of our other drafts is all aggregate, and this one's really important that you score, because a clean slate, then really sign on, you know, get through the semis, then you have to sign on.
And how many horses have you brought between yourself and Vicky?
Yeah, we've got 4. Yep.
4 each or 4 between?
4. Vicky's not riding this year. She had a hand injury. So I've got 1 mare of hers and 3 of mine. And, yeah, they're all pretty solid, hopefully.
And have you had some rounds already this morning?
2 rounds this morning. One missed and 1 scored, and 2 later on today.
All right, well, hopefully we'll see you back in the final, and good luck.
Thank you very much.
We're back here with Wyatt Young. He's literally just finished a round, 88 points. Can you talk us through it?
So it was really good. Just a bit lucky to be 2 after the change, and a couple of fresh came in, and I went with an older steer and paid off, yeah.
We were talking to Troy Palmer earlier when you were having your run. You've had some ripper rounds so far. I think he said you've had 2 88s and an 89, is that correct?
A couple of 89s and an 88, yeah. So, no, it's a good start, so hopefully it keeps going.
Yeah, that's put you in a good stead. You've got Metallic Storm. Is he your next horse to go?
Yeah, Storm's my next run. Yeah, he's still a little way, but yeah, he's my next run.
Yeah. And so you're just going to go back in there, going to be looking for the same type of cow as you've been drawing?
That's it, yeah. Just try and find something that we think's a bit desirable and nice and pleasant and respects our horse, and hopefully one comes in.
All right, well, there you go, guys. Well, good luck, and hopefully we'll see you back in the final on a few horses.
Let's hope. Thanks, mate.
Dan Steers here with Hugh Miles, another fellow Foresight rider, and he's also a Willinga Park rider. How you doing, Hugh?
Good, Dan. Good, mate.
How many horses did you bring down to Willinga?
14.
14 horses, and how many have you had so far? We're about, what are we up to, about 160 runs? How many have you had?
I've had 6 so far.
And now you know what I'm going to ask you. How many scores have you got?
I've been pretty lucky. We've got a score on them all so far, so cattle have been really good, and it's been unbelievable. The cattle have been really consistent, and every time you go in, you know, there's been cattle in them, and I haven't drawn much fresh, but there's always been some cattle in them, so it's a real credit to them.
And you've been here from the get-go. What's this concept like to you? What has Willinga Park done for the Campdraft industry?
Oh, mate, it's what Terry's done and Willinga Park have done, not just with the Campdraft, but what they've done for the whole horse industry has been phenomenal, and this has just topped it off, you know. Yeah, for people with horses, clients, prize money, the amount of money you can win, you know, it's the biggest one, you know, biggest Campdraft in Australia to win, and most money, and it's probably nearly the biggest paying event outside the racing to win. So, yeah, it's been life-changing, and, you know, we're very fortunate to have him, and, yeah, very privileged to be part of it.
Now, you've been very, very close here on winning this on several occasions. What's it going to take to get the win here this year?
Oh, mate, you just it's got to be consistent and have a bit of luck on your side and draw well, and if the cattle are there, you can't afraid to have any mistakes, and you've just got to be clean, and but yeah, there's a lot of good competitors, so it's very hard. It comes down to the cattle in the end, because there's so many people can put them around and do a really good job. So you've got to be lucky enough to get the cattle in the end, and then when you do get them, you've got to make the most of them and capitalise on it.
All right, last question. What would it mean to Hugh Miles to win the 2023 Ringers Western Gold Buckle Campdraft Championship?
Oh, mate, it'd be one of those things on the bucket list you just love to tick off, you know. So it'd definitely probably be the best thing to date that I could win for sure, just because of the money and the prestige of it, and you know, the level of competition, and for clients and all the rest of it. It'd be, yeah, I don't think you could go around it.
All right, Hugh, thank you for your time, and good luck, and hopefully we'll see you back in the final.
Yeah, thanks very much, Dan. Appreciate it.
One of the Ringers Western Gold Buckle Campdraft Championships, and was trying something new. We're actually roaming around live. I thought I'd do a quick little recap of our top 10 for the riders so far. We're not quite halfway through. We've done 200 runs. We've got Matt Beeches sitting on top or equal top position on an 89.67, along with Wyatt Young. Then we slipped down to the 89, sitting between 3rd and 8th, with Peter Bolton Matt Holtz, Hugh Miles, White Young again, Ken Bolton, Rob Leach, and then we slip to the 88.67s with David Murphy and Pete Kaminsky. So we've got some really good camp drafting in these first 200. The cattle have been fantastic. I've got a serial pest here just behind me. Let's see who we can chat to as we roam around. Kim Hagan, is this your first time down to Willinga Park?
Certainly is. Moderately impressed. I've got a few design ideas now, but still working on the cash flow.
Yeah, it is an impressive facility, isn't it?
It's unbelievable, and it's just so expansive. Like the wife and I went for a wander, and she's a little fatigued, so we're going to have to go the courtesy bus next time, I think.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. If you are down here at Willinga Park, there is a courtesy bus, and it's going around the grounds, dropping people off, picking people up. It gives you a good opportunity to be able to see the gardens, the other horse or equestrian facilities. What's your first impressions?
It's world class. Like, everything stands out. Everything's finished and really just perfect for any event that you want to hold, be it horse or just a conference or whatever you want. Like, it's just blows your mind.
Well, you being your first time, you've seen it on their website, Facebook, magazines. But did it live up to those expectations, or was it better than what you thought it was?
No, it definitely exceeded. And once you get down here, you get a feel of, as I say, the finish on everything and just the quality and the horses that are here. Obviously, the event itself is so much atmosphere and so much excitement about it. But the whole thing it far exceeded my expectations.
So going back to the camp draft, you know a fair few camp drafters. You're an equine vet. You deal with a lot of these guys as clients and obviously as friends. Is there somebody here you're barracking for in particular to win the Ringers Western Gold Buckle Championship this year?
How can you ask me a question like that? You just said I've got a whole heap of connections down here, and now you want me to pick one out.
Yeah, be specific. One.
No, can't help you.
Oh, I thought you might have been. I'm not even going to put words in your mouth. All right, Kim. Thank you for your time. I'm sure we'll catch up with you again. Let's go see who we can bump into. Everyone's sort of been a bit evasive. Hang on. Kim's back again.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. All right, come. Let's come in here. All right. So we're coming in. This is the warm-up area. So if you haven't been to Willinga before, this is where these guys are getting ready to compete in these next sort of few horses or in the next sort of 40 to 50. So there's a beautiful sand surface. They can hold cattle in here as well, but it just gives these riders an opportunity to be right ready and warmed up. And we're only a few steps away from actually entering the camp. So everything's really easy for all the competitors. If they're turning back cattle, again, there's an opportunity to warm up on cattle. They'll slip around the back, canter a couple of circles, and then they can just step right into the camp. And you'll see here with the grandstand, if you get the camera angle up, it gives these guys a really good opportunity, if you're a spectator, to get that almost bird's eye view where you're not only seeing the camp, but you're actually overlooking the course as well, which is really hard to do when you're spectating a camp draft, is to actually see both the camp and the course. If we come back in here, I'm going to see if I can grab somebody to interview again. I can see Josh Gibson, the Foresight representative. We've already had a chat with him this morning. Here, let's see if we can get the camera here.
He's like, "You're coming down with your helmet?"
Here, Josh. We're crossing here live. You've had a run this morning. It didn't quite go to plan. Can you talk me through it?
It was unorganised chaos, mate. No good.
You had a very good camp, 22 camp, I believe. Stepped out on course, cow just went straight, didn't get a bend in him. You're about to have a second run. Are you going to change anything, or are you going to stick to the plan?
Mate, I'm just going to stick to the plan. You know, Dan, as long as you've got some sort of plan, and then you can critique yourself when it doesn't work.
Fair enough. Well, we might have to have a meeting about it a little bit later on. The boys are going flat out here in the tractor. Can I borrow your horse for a second? All right, so we're taking this to a new extreme now. We're roving on horseback. Let's see who we can find. Oh, here we go. I've found another Foresight representative. Come over here, Steve Hart. You're on a nice, pretty roan. Who are you riding there?
A little horse called a Medalist.
And is this his first time or second time here at Willinga?
Second time.
Can you tell us a little bit about the breeding of Medalist?
He's by Metallic Cat out of Mum's Stylish Pepto. We imported him here to Australia in 2019.
And he's been very successful of late. What's been some of the wins and placings that he's had in his form leading up to Willinga?
He won a novice for novice in February, and then another 2 Opens since. One at Delegate and one at Bungendore.
Well, he's in red hot form. What do you draw here in the next lot of runs? What's your numbers?
2, 3, 4 he runs at.
2, 3, 4. All right, everybody, make sure you get out there and watch and barrack for Steve Hart and the Medalist. I know I will be, so it's pretty exciting to see this horse in the flesh. I actually haven't seen him have a run, so I'll be quite excited, and I'll be up there hooting and hollering. It looks like they've finished the camp draft preparation, so we're going to step right back into the drafting.